by local economist Mally Likukela. Very good evening to you, Mally, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Jonas.
Firstly, what's your impression of today's announcement made by the president?
Well, my impression with the announcement is that it is a step in the right direction, considering the fact that there was a growing anxiety that was taking place in the nation, and people were wondering what is the way forward, and the sort of the delay or the waiting was creating some sort of an uneasiness in the economy. So today's announcement really was welcomed by especially the fact that it sort of showed the way forward in terms of what the government is really planning. And the manner in which it was presented, especially in the form that it is a phased approach, one gets a sense that the government is really aware of the fact that we have not reached really a stage where we know everything about the crisis. So to jump into the release of the lockdown, it would be a little bit too dangerous. So the phased approach that government has taken is quite commendable in my view.
Before we move on to how businesses have been affected, the Bank of Namibia released a financial stability report earlier this week. What did you make of the report?
Can you say that again, Jonas?
The Bank of Namibia earlier this week released the financial stability report. What did you make of it?
Yes, the financial stability report as the tool through which the government or Bank of Namibia communicates the economy. It's a very important document because it gives an update of what the Bank of Namibia is seeing on the ground. And the main message from the report was to say that the risk that surrounds the COVID has increased. And if this risk continue, it might complicate or compromise the financial stability. And as we know, a compromised financial stability is not good for the economy. But again, the report also carried some positive news about the resilience of the banking sector, which in my view, I think so far is one of the sectors that is really helping this economy to continue to fight. So this report should be read, today's announcement must be viewed in the framework of this report to say that the government is really trying to align its position, its resources to where it really, really matters. And this approach really speaks to this report. However, again, the Bank of Namibia released also the outlook, which says that they see the economy contracting by 6.9%. And this is really worrisome, especially if this COVID crisis will continue.
Now, businesses that were deemed as non-essential had to close shop for over a month. Do you see these regulations compensating for the losses incurred over that period?
Well, not in the short term. In the short term, all the businesses will still have to suffer the brunt of this crisis. However, the support that government has given, extended to this business, is a reassurance that they have something to lean on. But I do not really foresee a full compensation because remember, all the sectors of the economy were really affected. So if you are going to help one sector and leaving out another, or you are not balancing the resources, it might lead to a situation where the one that you have left out could cause a negative pressure on the other. So I really do not foresee a short-term compensation on this sector. However, they have been given a leeway or a skateboard to really work upon and really try to sustain their business.
What are your comments on the Government and Social Security Commission relief package for workers who may not earn their full salaries?
Well, within the scheme of the greater scheme of things, this is part of what government, the measures that government is really trying to put to support everybody in the economy. And I believe that if these entities, if this money, if these resources that have been given, especially from the Social Security, is really directed towards the people that really needs it, we can see a positive impact of this. However, I'm a little bit worried and concerned with the news that other entities are planning on retrenching despite this support. I understand that the support is not big enough, is not large enough, but it defeats the purpose of government giving out money to support wages and all, but again, trying to threaten to retrench. I think there has to be a harmony. There has to be private sector that are in a condition, in a crisis like this, should meet government halfway. But I do believe that these resources, especially the one coming from Social Security, it is really a welcoming development for me.
Lastly, Mali, to the disappointment of many people, the president announced that the ongoing ban on the sale of alcohol will continue. What do you make of that? And also perhaps talk about the fact that this industry employs quite a lot of people. There are individuals who have shebeens as their only source of income. How do you see this affecting these little guys on the ground in the long run?
You see, the must be on both angles because this the alcohol that we are talking about, these are products of a specific sector which employs a lot of people, a number of people. So I'm not looking only from the consumption point of view where we are saying that the people, especially the people that are consuming alcohol who are not really happy. I want to look at it from the income perspective that will be lost during this period of time. So I think a manageable suspension of alcohol trading is okay, but to keep it closed for a long period of time, it might begin to affect the cash flow of these entities. Now, this speaks to the men on the street or speak to the informal sector or those other sectors that are relying on this sector of beverage that might be in a position to lose cash flow during this period of time. So it is a two-way side. For the consumer of alcohol, of course, it's not good news. It's also not good news for the business owners that are relying on this entity. So I think, but to manage the whole crisis in terms of behavioral, that must be managed so that this crisis is under control. I think it's a way to go because we know the social consequences of abuse of alcohol. But we are not saying, or I believe that government is not saying that there's alcohol abuse. All they are saying is one of the measures to control this disease through the social behavior is to limit the consumption of alcohol.
All right, Mali, thank you so much for your time. Highly appreciate it. Right, that was Mally Likukela talking to us about the latest developments in regards to the regulations on the state of emergency as presented by the president today.